Hello and welcome to the workshop, which is where I make things out of wood. And one of the things I like to do when I've finished making a project is photograph it. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I do it. I've done plenty of photography in here, but until now it's been pretty cobbled together. Blocking windows, trying to hide a messy background, and generally fighting the space. And to be fair, I've achieved some good results. But now I have a workbench that moves to give me a little more space, and I have this cheap blackout roller blind. Now, this is nothing fancy or expensive, but it is going to give me a couple of things. Firstly, it's going to block out a lot of the light coming into the workshop, and second, it's going to give me what's called an infinity curve, which is where the backdrop seamlessly curves into the floor, and when we shoot our photographs, it means that it'll look like just an infinite black space. Now, there is still another window here, but my pockets are only so deep, and I've only got one blind for the moment, so for now, I'm just going to make do with a blanket. Perfect. Right, so now that we've got our budget infinity curve in a mostly blacked out room, we need some lights. And I've got this second-hand set of bi-colour LED lights, which can be run on batteries, which is great. I can also plug them into the mains. They have these barn doors to help me control and shape the light, and they're also adjustable with their brightness, so I can dial things in nicely. And I've got a couple of smaller LED lights, which I might use as well. And the other thing we're obviously going to need is a camera. Now, like the lights, it helps if you've got something which has some manual controls. I've got this Canon 6D, which is also second-hand and I've had for many years. But in the interest of science, I think we'll also try some shots on my phone as well. And I'm sure it goes without saying that a tripod is also pretty useful for this. And the last thing we need is something to shoot. And I'm going to use this mallet, which I finished making a bunch of recently. So, we've got all our pieces, let's set this up. Now, there are tons of ways to light a shot like this, but the basic way that I like to start is with a key light above and slightly to the front of whatever I'm shooting, and that gives a nice glow over the whole object. And I'm just using a small clamp to attach this to a piece of wood on the ceiling. And I'm going to adjust these barn doors, which allows me to flag and direct the light a little bit, which essentially stops it from going out too wide. I'll also adjust the brightness of the light to make sure it's not too bright or too dim. Not bad, but there are a few areas of our product in shadow. So the second light I'm going to add is a fill light. And this light is going to be pointed at those darker areas to just help fill them in a little bit. I'm going to put this one on a stand, which handily these lights came with, and set it fairly dim so that it just adds a little bit of brightness to the darker sides and doesn't completely blow things out. That's way too bright. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so things are looking pretty good, but I think we can make them look just a little bit better. And the way I'm going to do it is by adding this rim light up here, which is just going to catch the back edge of that mallet and highlight it from behind. And if I switch off the other two lights for a moment, we'll see exactly what that one's doing. It's subtle, but it just adds a little extra to the overall picture. Now, the final piece of the puzzle is the camera settings, and up until this point in the video, I actually didn't have them set correctly, so the pictures looked a little bit rubbish, but I've got them dialed in now, so let me show you how I did that. Now, this is how the camera was set previously, so the ISO was set to 6400, the aperture was set to f8, and the shutter speed was 160, which is all fine on the one hand, but the ISO being that high is introducing a lot of digital noise and grain into the image, which is making things look a little bit muddy and just not quite as nice. So the first thing I'm going to do is adjust that way down to around 400, 500. Let's go 500 for now. Obviously, it's going to be much darker to begin with, so I need to reduce that shutter speed. We can do because we're on a tripod. And then the other thing I'm going to do is open up the aperture. Let's go f5 for the moment. And if we take a shot there and compare it to our previous one, we can see a big difference in the quality of those two images. All right, so now that we've got our settings dialed, our lights dialed, we can start to play around with the position of the product and try out some different angles. I think photographing your work is a really important part of woodworking, or any craft for that matter. Usually we're only making one or a few of something, and most people never get to experience it in person. So if we can learn to light it and take good photographs, it allows other people to experience it too. Whether you're making something for yourself, family or friends, YouTube, Instagram, or looking to sell them, I think photography is another tool that's well worth having in the workshop. And this is where you can start to get creative depending on the types of products you're photographing and the equipment you have. And while we're here, let's test a phone. This is straight in the camera app. I've zoomed into 2 times on one of the other lenses, but one thing that I do want to do is down here, turn it to the raw 48 megapixel version, because that'll give us a little bit more control when editing the pictures. And then the other one is up here in the camera settings. I'm just going to adjust the exposure because at the moment it's too bright. So I'm just going to tweak that down a little bit so that it's closer to what we were getting on the DSLR. Then we'll take our shot, and not bad. Not as good as the 6D, but not bad. Now, it's worth saying that you can do all of this without the black backdrop, and the same 3-point lighting setup will work just fine. It'll just be a slightly different look and feel. And depending on your work and preferences, you can obviously choose a style that suits you. And that's more or less it. After that, I'll usually do a small amount of editing, usually just a few adjustments to the brightness and contrast, because I want to stay true to how these things actually look in real life. I've kept things fairly simple here because photography is a huge subject area and there's always more to learn. So rather than getting bogged down in tons of technical details in this video, I wanted to show you a simple, practical setup that works for me so that you can adapt it and make it work in your workshop. Head over to my channel if you want to see some of my previous build videos, and subscribe if you want to see what I build next. As always, thanks for watching.